Good evening, guys. Am I audible to everyone? Yes. Okay. So whatever we discussed in previous class about Spring Core, is all those concepts clear? How to inject an object using setter, or how to inject an object value using setters, constructors, reference. How to when to use property tag, when to use constructor args tag, and when to use ref reference in the setters. Yes, so all these are basic configurations which we have done in XML file. So we'll understand some theory part and then we will try to understand how to use annotations. Okay, we'll understand how to use annotations. Only if you have understood XML configuration, you will understand annotation easily. If not, you will find it difficult. Okay, so that's left on you. As I told yesterday, there is a difference between bean factory and application context, right? Those two are interface, but still there are few differences. So what is that? We will try to understand. Before that, let me launch my Eclipse. Just give me 2 minutes. Once the Eclipse is launched, I'll share the screen. Screen is visible now. Okay. So I'll just write one small example. So for that I'll just create a okay, I'll do it in the same package com.sp. Okay. So in this package, I'll just create a class and I'll give it as sample bean. I'll give the class name as sample bean. Okay. So in this class, I'll just write a private data member, private int value, public sample bean int value, and in this constructor I'll just try to print sample bean initialized. Then I'll just write this dot value is equal to value, public void get value, return value. I'll just tell you why I'm writing all this, okay? I'll just tell you why I'm writing all this. Now, this is the class that is sample bean. If Spring will create object, let's assume Spring is creating object for this particular class sample bean. If object is created, automatically constructor will be called and that particular value whatever we pass in the configuration will be initialized. Correct? It will be initialized. Now, whenever we call this method get value, then only we will get the output of that particular value. Correct? Whatever value is initialized, then only we will get. Now what we will do is we will try to make use of both application context and we will make use of bean factory. Okay, we'll just make use of these two. Before that, we should do configuration, right? What is the configuration we should be doing here? Can anyone tell what configuration we should do? For object should get created for this particular class, and along with it, this constructor value should be initialized with the help of constructor. So I should make use of bean tag. Class is equal to ID is equal to sample bean. And here I should give constructor args and value is equal to 1000. So what is the fully qualified name of this particular class? I'll just copy and paste. Okay, so our configuration is correct. We are telling Spring for this particular class, you need to create object. So when you create object, just initialize this value through constructor. So in constructor, we have a print statement. Correct? So whenever the object is created, constructor will be called automatically. If constructor is called automatically, whatever print statement we have, it will print. Correct? Keep this flow in your mind. Now what I will do, where is the package? Yeah, here I'll just create another class, test sample bean. I'll just create test sample bean. So here I'll make use of main method. I'll just make use of main method. Now I'll make use of application context. Which one we are using? We are using application context. So what is the implementation class for that? AC is equal to new class path application context. New class path application context. So what is the configuration XML file name? That is myconfig.xml. Done. I'll just repeat once again. Everyone listen carefully. So this is my sample bean class. I have an integer value. I am initializing this variable. Using constructor. First thing is I am initializing this using constructor. Inside constructor, I have written a print statement so that we can understand the difference. And I have a get value method. Okay. Simple. Yesterday what we did, similar to that I have written a program. In configuration, we have made the configuration for this particular sample bean class. And we have initialized the value. As what we did in previous class, the same way I have done the configuration. Now here I am just writing application context, new class path XML application context. I have just written this. Now I will execute. Can you see here? What is the output? Sample bean initiated. Correct? When our object is getting created, constructor is called automatically. When constructor is called automatically, I am getting the print statement, whatever I have written in the constructor. Yes. Did I call any non-static method of that particular class? I have a non-static method, right? I have a non-static method, that is get value. Did I call this method? I did not call this method, but still object is created and constructor is called automatically. Correct? Now I'll just comment this. Now similar way, I'll just write it for the bean factory. So what we should use, resource R is equal to new. What is the implementation class here? For resource. Class path resource, right? Not XML bean factory. It is class path resource. So here I need to mention my config.xml. Here I should mention my config.xml. Now I will just call bean factory is equal to new XML bean factory. Here I'll pass R. Okay. So now if I execute this, what will happen? Now if you execute this, you will not get anything in your console. Because bean factory will create object. Only on demand. Demand means what? Demand means now I will tell my Spring. What is the class name? Class name is sample bean, right? Sample bean. SP is equal to what is that? B fact dot get bean. What is the reference variable we had given? Yes, B. Yes, B. Now I will call the non-static method. So whenever there is a demand of non-static method, or whenever we call the non-static method, then only it will create the object for that particular class. So what is the non-static method? Get value, right? Get value. Whenever there is a demand, then only it will create the object. Can you see here? So whenever you call the non-static method, then only it started creating the object. So when object is created, constructor is called. But in application context, it is not like that. You call or you don't call, first only it will create the object and it will keep ready. Whenever you call, it will give you the output. If not, it will keep the object created. So before even you tell, it is creating the object automatically. So it is eager initialization. It is eager. And bean factory is lazy. In the sense, you call the non-static method, then I will create the object. Before only why I should create object and keep it ready? I will not do. It is little lazy. Okay, so bean factory is lazy and application context is eager. Okay, this is the main major difference which they will expect you to answer in interview. And this you should know. Understood. Yes. Okay. Why 1000 is not printing in the console? Because I am not printing that in any, I am not using SOP for that, right? I am not using SOP for that anywhere. Did I tell print value? No, right? Then obviously it will not print. So whenever you make use of application context without even demanding for the non-static method or without even demanding for the object, it will create the object and keep it. For that particular class. Okay. But bean factory will not do like that. Okay. Only when you demand. Now I'm calling the get value method. It is a non-static method. Obviously object needed to be created, then it will create the object. If not, it will not create. You understood the difference? Yes. So do you want to execute this and check? Do you people want to execute this and check? Okay, execute it. Configuration is same as yesterday's configuration. What is different in that? How we did for constructor, the same way we did here. Done, completed. So sometimes they might ask you to demonstrate and show. You will explain. You will explain the difference. So you will tell bean factory is lazy and application context is eager. Okay, you will just explain. If they ask you to demonstrate, take up an example, take a same example, or whichever example you feel easy, you can take that and you can demonstrate like this. So on demand, object will be created for bean factory, but application context will create the object before even you ask to create. Yes, this difference you need to demonstrate and you just practice it. So Ashwini, I just told, bean factory will create object only on demand, but application context will create the object before even you demand for, before even you demand for. So that difference you should be able to demonstrate and show it in your interview if they ask. Okay, so I just told that. Ashwini, you got it right? Was I audible? Yes, okay. Everyone completed? Okay, fine. So I'll just take the same example for this particular configuration, that is marker. We have marker class. Marker core container. This is not required. I'll just go with marker J to W. Okay. So the same example I'm going to take, but I'll just show you the scope of bean. I'll just show you the scope of bean. Okay. So now I have created the object. I have created the object for application context, and using that I am just getting the object for marker. I'm just getting the object for marker, right? So what if I just write system.out.println m? What if I just write like this? And if I execute, what will be the output? What you will get as output? You will get your object reference, right? Why is this? Okay. You will get the object reference. Fine. So this is the reference, correct? Now what I will do, I'll just call the object once again. I'll just call the object once again, and I'll just print M1. I'll just print M1. So look at the output and tell me whether the same object we are getting or we are getting different object. Whether two different object is created, or whenever we ask for the object, Spring is giving us the same object, right? Spring is giving us the same object. So this is called as a singleton. Singleton means the scope of this particular bean, whatever we have written here, is by default singleton. The scope of the bean in Spring is by default singleton. Singleton means it creates only one object. Whenever you ask for the object, it will give the same object. It will not create new object. So that is singleton. So you need to remember what is the scope of the bean in the Spring by default. What is the scope of the bean in the Spring by default? It is singleton. It is singleton. Singleton means you can see here, I called the object twice. So this is object 1, this is object 2. But it is giving me the same object again and again. Because the object reference is same. Correct? See the reference here, reference is same, right? If reference for the object is same, that means only one object is given. Correct? Yes or no? Okay. So singleton means one object is given again and again. So now what I will do, if you want, you can change the scope. So what I will do, I'll give the scope as prototype. Okay, so before that, just execute this and check. In the same example, just change this and check. You should give different reference variable. Obviously, you cannot give same reference variable, right? You will get error. Yes, you can see it is printing the same. It is giving the same object. Yes or no? Yes, same reference object. Okay. So now I have just changed the scope as default scope was singleton. I am changing it as prototype. I am changing it as prototype. Now I will execute. Now I will execute. We will see what is the output. Now can you tell whether same object is created or different object is created whenever we call? Whenever we call, different object is created. Can you see? So I have changed the scope of the bean, stating that whenever you wanted the object of the particular class, create it new, make a new object and give it to me. Don't give the same object. All these you will use in your project based on the requirement. Sometimes you want the object to be, you don't want the object to change anything. You want a new object. In that new object you might change some values which should not affect the first object, so that time you will go for prototype. If not, always it will be singleton only. So that and all we can see later. Based on the requirement you can use, but what are the different scope you should be knowing. By default it is singleton. If you change the scope to prototype, it will create different object whenever you ask for the object. So here we are asking to get the bean object, right? So it is creating the new object for us. Okay, so these are the two scope which we will be using here, which you will be using here. And we have global session and request. So these we will be using whenever we create a web application, HTTP session, all these. So that you can understand whenever we create a web application. Now, as of now, singleton and prototype, if you understand, that is more than enough. So totally we have 5 scope. Totally we have 5 scope. One is singleton, it is by default, prototype, request, session and global session. So we understood prototype and singleton. Yes, just make the scope as prototype here. Just make the scope as prototype and execute. You can see the different object creation. You can see the different object creation. Yes. Just comment this. Just comment the system.out.println. Sample bean is getting invoked, so please comment this. Because whenever you make use of application context, object will get created, right? All the configurations we have written in one XML file. So whenever you give the name as my config, sample bin also will get executed. Understood that, Lakshmi Narayan? No. So you understood, no? Singleton and prototype. Singleton and prototype. Anyone who is still executing, you want me to wait? Or let me continue with annotation part? So this is what I wanted to explain, guys. Scope of bean object in the Spring, scope of bean object in the Spring, and you want me to show configuration for sample bean. Okay, here it is. Spurti done? Yeah, okay. So sweetie, Sophie got Scopa. What is that, Vinith? What is Sophie got? Confi Scopa. Okay. Sweetie, done with this? Marker JW container. So you wanted this scope configuration, Vinith? Okay, completed. So we'll move to annotation. Okay, good. So now we'll create a new Maven project. I'll create a new Maven project. So it is a simple Maven project. Create a simple project. Next. So here package I'm giving as com.sp, and here I'm giving it as Spring Core Annotation. Spring Core Annotation. So everyone just create a Maven project. Group ID is com.sp. Artifact ID is Spring Core Annotation. Spring Core Annotation. So previously we had given project name as Spring Core XML, and now it is annotation. So Spring Core Annotation. Give relevant project name so that you can refer in future. Yes, just create the Maven project and add the dependencies, and add the dependency. We need to add only one dependency for Spring, right? Just add that. Done, everyone created? Once you have completed, let me know. Okay. So now we are not going to make use of any XML file, or we are not going to create any XML file. We'll deal only with annotations. Okay, we'll deal only with annotations. I'll create a package. I'll create a package and a class. Okay, so package I'll give it as com.sp. Name I'll give it as myconfig. We need to create one particular class called myconfig. Fine. So what we are going to do here is, what we are going to tell to our Spring is, so in this particular base package, what is the base package name here? What I have given? What I have given base package name? What is the base package? Means whatever package we have created, no, that is the base package. com.sp. You can give any package name, okay, but it should be relevant to your projects or based on your companies. So here the package name is com.sp. Now what we should tell our Spring is, okay, so Spring, whatever I have, whatever class I create, in this particular package. For example, com.sp. This is the package. In this package, or it's a sub package. Sub package means com.sp. You give some name. com.sp. You give some other name. So all these are base pack. All these are sub package. All these are sub package. What is your base package? Your base package is the com.sp. So after com.sp, whatever you give, whatever folder you give, all these are your sub package. All these are your sub package. Okay. So we should tell our Spring. Whatever class I write inside the base package or inside the sub package of this particular project, all those class are eligible so that you can create the object. All those class are eligible so that you can create the object. So we need to tell this to our Spring. Once only we will tell. We will tell it once. So for each and every class, we will not be writing bean configuration. Okay. So overall, we will just mention. I'll just write component scan base packages com.sp. Why we should give this? We are telling the base package is com.sp, and along with the sub packages also will be considered. Okay. So this is our configuration class. So you need to mention configuration. So one configuration for the entire project is done. Individually, you don't need to do bean class full qualified name. That is not required now. So one step we skipped from the XML part. Correct? So this one you need to create and then close it. You are not going to do anything else. Okay. Fine. Now what I'll do, I'll create one class and I'll show you how exactly it works. So I'll just create a class called cow. So in this class, I'll try to write some method. Public void print system.out.println. I am in cow class. So I'll just create another class, test cow. Here we should write main method. In this main method, I'll make use of application context is equal to new. Which implementation class we should use here? Since we are using annotation configure application context we should use. Okay, annotation config application context we will use. And what is the configuration class name? My config dot class. We need to mention that particular class here. And then usually how you do, cow c is equal to new, sorry, not new, cow a context dot get bean. So we need to provide this reference, right? We used to provide in bean configuration. In bean configuration, value is equal to one reference we will provide, right? Yes or no? We used to provide. Now where we will provide that here? We need to provide it somewhere. Where to provide? For this particular class, cow class, object should be created. So I'll write @component. Here you need to provide the reference. So what you will provide here? Same value is equal to, I'll just give my cow. So here I can make use of my cow. And I'll just write c dot, what method we give? Print. C dot print. So now let me execute. Yes, so object is created and the method is called, correct? Object is created Correct. Now I'll just repeat it once again. Why we should make use of this my config class here? Because we should tell the Spring, whatever class we write in this particular package, that is base package, or in the sub package of com.sp, all the classes should be made visible to the Spring. Means Spring should be able to create object for all those classes. Correct? Yes, it is always empty. If required, if any configuration further required, we will do that. Okay. So we need to tell that, no? So that is the reason we are going to make use of @component scan. So Spring will scan all the classes present in this package and present in the sub package. It will scan all the classes. So component scan, what is the base packages? Base packages you need to mention. And since it is the configuration class, I am mentioning @configuration. That's all. You understood this now? My configuration.java. Yes, we will be creating sub package also, Sachin. We'll create that and we will check. Okay. Okay. Now done with this configuration. Now I'll create a class. Chetan, just now I told, right, why we should give this a configuration annotation. So whatever configuration we are doing in XML file, now as of now we are not doing, right? That same configuration we will be doing it in class, but in a simple way. That is, we will mention the annotation component scan and we will mention the package. So Spring will be able to create object. It will be able to access all the classes and will be able to create object. So since it is a configuration class, I am just mentioning @configuration. Yes, Kavya? I'm just explaining you people in the simple terminologies. I'm not making it complicated. I can tell you in a complicated manner, but you will not understand anything. Just simple words I'm using and I'm explaining. When you read the notes, no, you will understand. Okay, when you read the notes, you will understand. Now, I have created a cow class. So in this cow class, I have a non-static method, correct? So why we should use this component scan? @component. Why is this @component used? So if we want to create object of cow class, we should use @component annotation. If you want to create object for any class, not for reference. If we want to create object for any class, you should use @component. Okay, @component. Now we need to provide a reference. For that we will use value is equal to cow. We had given the reference in bean class, right? The same thing we are doing it here. Yes, now you understood why we should use component annotation. Yes. Okay, can you people execute and check? So it is my cow. I'll just change it here. Sachin, what no? Guys, done with my config? Everyone completed my config class? Done with cow? Done with cow class? Guys, did you people completed it? Anyone want me to wait? Okay. Nitin and others, please complete first. Okay, done with this? So we'll move to the next annotation. So I'll just create another package. So if I give package name com.sp.variable. So can I tell this is the sub package? Sorry, sub package. Can I tell this is a sub package because I have com.sp and then I have something called as variable. So here I'll just create a class. I'll create a class as student. I want to create object for this particular student class. I want to create object for the student class. Can you tell which annotation I should use? Can you tell which annotation I should use? @ component. Okay, so here I need to give the value. My student. Okay. So here I'll just take string name. And I'll just take a method public void print name. Name is equal to plus name. So using annotations directly you can inject the value for this particular variable. Now for this variable I should inject the value, right? I should inject a value, correct? So how to do using annotation? How to do using annotation? We have an annotation called value. We have an annotation called value inside which you can pass value is equal to whatever value you wanted to inject into this variable, you can pass that. I'll just pass Priya. I'll just pass Priya. Whatever we used to do in XML, same thing. You can just relate it here. Okay. Now what I'll do, I'll just create a new class test student. So here main method. So I'll just make use of the same thing. So instead of cow, it will be student. I'll call the method yes dot print name. Yes, now let's execute and check. You can see Priya, the value Priya is injected to the variable. Value Priya is injected to the variable, correct? So what is the purpose of this annotation value? What is the use of this annotation value? Int value also. Yeah, it can take any values. So I'll just take int age @value. Value is equal to 24. Age is equal to plus age. Sorry. I just executed test cow class. So this is the, yeah, you can see. Yes, you understood this? So at the rate value used to inject value to variable directly. Directly we are injecting the value to the variable. So can you people execute? Then we will go with getters and setters and constructor. Then we will go with setters and constructor. Can you people execute this? Nihal, in Spring Boot, how to make it simpler, I will show you, okay? In Spring Boot, I'll just show you how to make it even more simpler. This is just we are understanding the workflow of Spring. Why, Ashwini? Why today's class is enough? Did we understand many concepts or what? Hmm? Yes, Nitesh Kumar. Completed? For the first time, you are looking into all these annotations, no, Vinod, so it will be confusing. So you need to practice. I can explain it, but without you practicing, nothing will happen. You will still feel confusing only. You people take some other example, execute and check. That is how you can learn. My configuration class once only we need to write, right? Once only we need to write. Why we should write all the time? I told no sub package class also will be available for Spring. So once only we need to write. Arun, what? I did not get you. Exactly what you are trying to ask, Arun K. Then what I am doing now? No, I'm just asking you. I'm doing the same thing, right? No, what else you are expecting? That is what I am asking. So if I get to know exactly what you're expecting, I can give you the proper answer. Okay, so that no one will be teaching you. That no one will be teaching you here as of now. Which annotation for what purpose it is used? That is more than enough for your interview or to become a developer. So in companies also, they'll ask you to make use of new annotations. They'll ask you to make use of new annotations. Okay, so those annotations where we should use, what is the purpose, you need to understand. So how exactly it is working, I already told you, right? In XML file, what configurations we did, the same thing this particular annotation will do. So background, how it is working, you got to know here only, right? That is why I did XML based configuration. Directly, if I teach annotation based, you will not understand. You will not understand. That is the reason. Whatever we did in XML based configuration, the same thing your annotation is doing. How your XML configuration worked, you understood, right? That workflow you understood, right? To whom I am talking? Please do respond, Arun. Yeah, in core Java also you would have been used annotations, right? Override, override, and for functional interface also there is a annotation. So all those, what is the purpose, you will understand. That's all, not more than that. Okay, so I think this you people have completed. Now we'll go with the next example. I'll just create a package com.sp.ref, and I'll give class name as mobile. Okay, so I want to create object for this particular class, so I will give @component. So here value is equal to my mobile. So what I'll do, I'll make use of has a relationship here. So mobile has a SIM, right? So I'll make use of has a relationship, and here I'll just write a method void do call, and here I'll print calling from mobile. Yesterday we did for computer and USB, right? The same way, but I'm taking different example. And connect method. So I'll just create the connect method, create connect method in sim. So method is created here. Okay, here I'll just print sim is connecting to network. So guys, just recall and tell if you want to inject the object to this reference variable, which type of configuration you will do? Which type of configuration in XML we used to do? If I want to inject, so we'll make use of ref, right? We will make use of ref. We'll make use of ref and we'll give the reference. So here we'll make use of auto wired used to inject object to a reference variable. Used to inject object to a reference variable @auto wired. So I'll create a class test mobile sim main method. So same configuration class. Okay, so for sim class also object should be created, right? So I'll just give component. So my mobile, we should use my mobile M. So yeah, I'll just call m.doCall. Okay. So now object will be injected. Now sim object will be injected to this particular reference. So we can see that connect method also will be called. Connect method is called. Yes, connect method is called. So just you should make use of @auto wired used to inject object to reference variable. Yes. This is simple, right? When you compare with XML configuration. This is simple, right? You might feel confusing, but you need to practice. Which annotation, where we should use that. If you get to know, then things are good. So, Shivansh Kumar, done with this? Test student class. Okay. So guys, you people can execute this. Mobile class, it is used to inject, auto wired is used to inject the object to reference variable. We have sim class. Can you tell why we did not give the value here in sim class? Can anyone tell why we did not give value here? The reference for this object, why we did not give? No value to insert here. We gave in mobile class. Mobile class is for mobile. Sim class is different, mobile class is different. Why we did not give it for sim? Because we are not going to get the sim object here. If you want to get the sim object, then only you need to mention the reference here, my mobile, similarly my sim. Okay, we are not going to use the object directly, we need to inject it. So name is not required. Automatically it will take the class name as sim and then it will inject it here. That is the reason we are not providing. If not, if you wanted to use this object, then you need to provide the value name. Okay, try to execute this. One reference will be more than enough. You don't need to write multiple reference. Completed. Okay, so two more are there using setters and constructor, but I don't want to do it today itself. We'll wind up our class, okay? We'll wind up our class as of now. Tomorrow we will do, and I'll give you the introduction for Spring Boot. So tomorrow we will complete that, okay? Yeah, notes I will provide. Okay? Yeah. We'll see you tomorrow, guys. You people can leave for the day. Thank you. Bye. Take care. Yeah, Chandrasekhar, you will have the explanation. Spring Boot. Sanjay, Spring Boot we will be using in industry.